And welcome back to the Market Wolf. I am the Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear case, the best bull case, and I give you my opinion. We are looking at the S&P 500. It is currently sitting at $482.43. This is your weekly market update. We will not only cover the S&P 500, but we will also cover Tesla and we will cover WTI oil. So let's get right into it. It's time to do a real hard look at the S&P 500 and see what could happen in this year of 2024. And despite the 10 and 2 being inverted, despite that 10 and 2 about to uninvert, and despite the fact that we might go back to quantitative easing at some point this year, which typically will lead to a recession, also the uninversion will lead to recession as well. Despite those factors, we don't know precisely when these things will happen, and the market can certainly continue to drive up. And we have had good incoming volume. That's not something that we can simply ignore. So a true measured move off of a breakout on the S&P 500, and I think at this point it is safe to definitely call this a true breakout. It may try and back test later on this year and fail, and then we move into recession. But on a true breakout, we are looking at a measured move of $560.21 on the S&P 500 out of this breakout. Your best short-term bull case on the S&P 500 will probably bring it to about $506.03. And I believe that is definitely in the ballpark right now. We are in exploratory territory. Everything is looking pretty good right now. However, do not rule out a back test into that range that I've mentioned before, between $458.19 and $459.93. That's something to watch out for. It could break down a little further with a healthy back test to maybe about $455.82. If you were to see a hard break there, you might get a little concerned. If you see a hard break at $441.55 or at about $438.86, you definitely want to start getting concerned that we are moving into some bad territory if you saw a breakdown that hard. However, right now incoming volume looks pretty darn good, and that's all we can really ask for. I do expect a little bit further move up before we get into a cooling phase, and we'll see how far we back test and what the S&P 500 wants to do. Watch that fear and greed index. Let's find out where the market is, what the market is thinking. Oftentimes, if we get into extreme greed scenarios, you can see a more massive breakdown. Let's take a look now at Tesla. And if you are following me at RealMarketWolf on Twitter, you know that I posted this information on Tesla already, and that was a short-term case prognosis. What I'm about to show you right now is not only short-term and what I expect, the best bear case, the best bull case, but also what I expect in the longer term. Now, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I'm going to keep doing Tesla updates, and I will continue to keep updates going on WTI crude and the dollar. Anything else you're interested in, let me know in the comments section. I'll get to that chart for you, I promise. And be paying attention to the Twitter feed, because I do chart updates consistently every day, especially if you ask me to do certain charts. I will get to those that day as soon as possible. So right now, Palantir is one that I've done, Tesla. I've got several others up. Go check those. What I will say first is that I do expect Tesla to fall back into that $207.03 range to about $202.48 range. And there is another support there in between those two at $204.92. If you look back at Tesla just historically, this is an area where there's been a significant amount of buying and selling, and it would make sense that as we've been breaking down, that we would want to revisit that area in that order block and see if we want to find more buyers there in the short term. Now, what do I think the best bull case is? I think the best bull case is you do come into that green box, or you get support right where you're at as you flag out here over the longer term, and then you try and retest this red resistance line right here. These two red resistance lines represent old upward supports that we used to be in. So these were up trends that have now been broken by Tesla. You can see we broke that first uptrend here, and we broke the second uptrend support there. That now becomes heavy resistance. You can see that those uptrends go all the way back to so basically January 2023, and then also April of 2023. So it's a big deal that we've broken down out of those. Also, you can see in the longer term trend that ever since July of 2023, we have been in a large descending channel here with Tesla, and so we are looking for signs of a reversal. That's what we are looking for if you're in Tesla, or if you're looking to average down, you're looking at the best price to buy at as this does go down. And so I believe your best bull case in the short term is that you try and get back up here and retest this red resistance line, this second one that we broke through. And then I think your best bear case is that you would break all the way down to $182.21, which would be a significant drop. It's hard for me to see that happening as the S&P 500 is still trying to work its way up. My opinion is that we are certainly going to come into this green area here in those three prices that I listed, and I definitely think it's possible that we could have a quick wick down to $193.69. That's kind of my targeted area. I suspect that we'll get a big wick there, just like we see right here, and we'll have a lot of buy orders ready there, and you'll see a lot of people suck up that buy immediately, because this is a pretty good range, I believe, and people want to be in Tesla. They still love it. So that's what I see happening there in the medium term. In the long term, we're looking for signs of reversal to get out of this downward channel. So we will be paying attention to that. And you will see Tesla updated here weekly on the Market Wolf. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button and definitely share this with your friends that trade Tesla. Now, let's take a look at WTI oil. You know, this is a big one that I've been paying attention to. And the oil cycle, I'm hoping that it's breaking down. Not only would that be great for our gas prices on our vehicles, but that would be really great for us to start looking at entering a serious trade here for the long term. And as you can see, oil has also been breaking down like Tesla in a long-term kind of movement downwards here, but we've also been consolidating inside of a symmetrical triangle. And right now I expect oil to, and I'm just going to give you my opinion on this one, I expect oil to back test, roughly about $78.58. I think it could back test higher, even to the top of that channel, maybe somewhere around $83 in that range, because it does look like it wants to start turning around with some momentum to the upside. It has been testing support on this bottom triangle multiple times here now on the weekly time frame. You can see we're currently sitting at $73.35. And that's roughly about a 10% to the top of that channel. That's about a 10% break to the upside if it were to test the top side of that channel. I'm not looking myself to enter in for just 10%. I'm looking for huge gains, and I want to enter at some of the lowest prices possible. Now, if I did think it was going to break up to its all-time highs again, if we got support on top of this triangle, then I would be looking at getting back in, because at that point, if I got a confirmation, then we're looking at roughly, perhaps about a 40% profit, or maybe 38, 35, depending on where it would top out at, of course. But it could even go higher. So this is something we have to watch, we have to pay attention to. I'm keeping a close eye on it because I want to make sure that I buy it at the proper technical position. And I'm sure you all are interested in this long-term trade too. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like, make sure you please share, because it encourages me to continue to make this content. If there's any chart you want to see, give me a comment in the comments section. Let me know over on Twitter during the week. I'll post charts there. And if you like this content, please remember that it encourages me to continue to do this when you hit that like button. and my likes have been in the gutter. I have lots of subscribers, I get decent number of views, but the likes are just lacking. So if you appreciate this content, the only way to continue to drive me forward so I continue to make content like this is to hit that like button so the algorithm picks it up and other people can watch this content as well. If it doesn't get picked up by the algorithm, if you don't hit that like button, eventually it does not benefit me to continue to pass this information on to you, and this channel will fail and I will just make the money myself, which is also fine with me. We'll see you next time on The Market Wolf.